Hey everybody, welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. What we have this time is the Tojiro Basic series. This is the VG10 Gyuto 200mm knife. And wanted to show you the packaging. This is a very impressive line of knives, very high value for the investment. And so they got a nice package on here. Just thought I'd show that. I don't usually do this, but it's just everything about this line is very intelligently designed. So we have a nice box, almost a little presentation box with your insert here, cover, take that off, and here's your knife. So it's a nice nestled package, nice and neat and clean. You could even store that in there if you needed to, if you didn't have any place to store your knife. So this is the knife itself. I've been using, I've got a couple of these in hand. I've been using one of them quite a bit for the past few weeks, and I must say I'm very impressed with this line of knives. The performance is very good, holds a nice edge, the steel's really good, and the value is extremely high on this line of knives. So it's just an excellent line of knives. The core steels, this is a 3-layer construction. So the way they're made is they've got a 3-layer construction with VG10 full stainless steel for the core, and then a soft stainless cladding on either side of that core steel. So it's a 3-layer construction. The weight and dimension should be pretty close from one knife to another. The weight on this one's 135 grams or 4.8 ounces, and the heat treat's typically around 59, maybe 60 on that core steel. Handles, nothing fancy, but it's a basic black pack of wood, stabilized wood product handle. You've got a partial tang, which helps the lightness and the balance point, so you can see the tang's not all the way through. You've got 3 stainless rivets on it. The handle, nothing fancy, but it's comfortable, it's well done. Just the handle itself is the bolster. So nice simple construction here. But handle feels really good. It's pretty close to matches the choil here, the neck, so we've got a pretty good spot there for a pinch grip. It works just fine. Let's see, edge length, so we'll do that. Edge length on these is about 202 millimeters, or about 7.9 inches, just under 8 inches. And the overall length's about 12.6 inches, or 320 millimeters from tip to end of the handle. Spine thickness, fairly thin knives, but also fair amount of stiffness, given how thin they are. But I got about 1.7 millimeters thickness at the back, and then about halfway down I got a 1.65. There's not much taper to it until you get towards the grind, which is roughly about where that kind of bead blasted blade road is, but it's not like a defined mark. It's just a nice kind of convex grind down towards the edge. The tips on these actually work quite nicely, so they are reasonably thin, and the edge is reasonably thin as well. So performance is very good on these. It will surprise you. Height about 46.7 millimeters at the back, so just a nice, good, decent height. You got plenty of space for fingers on a pinch grip. Let's look at the balance point on this. The nice thing about that handle not being too heavy and partial tang is it brings the balance point to a reasonable spot, kind of in between if you're going to do a racket style grip or a pinch grip. So if you're going to do a pinch grip, it's a little in front of that, gives you a little bit of weight into the handle on that balance point, but not too bad. Obviously, if you got more of a racket grip, it'll be a little more kind of normal type balance point, but either way works pretty well. I guess let's get our beauty shot for this guy. It's just a really nice line of knives. Again, well made, easy to use, very good performance. The steel's been really good. It seems to hold a pretty nice edge. Out of the box, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It came really sharp out of the box. I've got 2 of these, and they're both very sharp out of the box, and they held that edge pretty nicely. On the the right side of the blade, as you're holding it, you'll see some etched on kanji and name there. VG10 for the steel, and here's the left side of the blade. Kind of got vertical finish marks on it, and then a kind of a bead blasted, sand blasted blade road there. And there's your core steel down at the bottom here. Fit and finish wise, it's really quite good. They didn't spend a lot of time on the corners of the spine, so not really sharp, but it could be relieved a little bit. The choil can be a little bit sharp right here, so if you wanted to spend a few minutes with some strips of sandpaper, you could knock the corners of that down just a little bit with not much effort. Same for the spine, so you could clean this up a little bit with no problem. But really out of the box, it's ready to go. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. All right, here we go. So what you're going to see is just not a lot of flat spot, but just kind of a gentle curve throughout. Just kind of a low belly, so it's easy to use. You can use a little bit of chopping towards the back here, but it kind of flows into a stop. A little bit of aggressive belly towards the front. That means I can get it pretty high on a rock. So this thing will rock really nicely on items, and you can chop, push, pull, cut. Tip draws, you got to raise the handle just a little bit higher, but it's still a pretty versatile profile. Again, I'm just very impressed with this line of knives. I've recommended it to a few of my friends. It's a great entry-level knife. Really, it can keep somebody for a long time. It's just good performance, nice fit and finish. The steel seems really good. Easy to use, nothing too fancy, but much better than a lot of the stuff you'll find in this price range. And the steel's very good. So this is a very high value line from Chef Knives To Go. This is the Tojiro Basic VG10 Gyuto 200mm knife.